All right. All right, guys. So I think this is going to finally wrap up my entire Cyberpunk series. I want to thank anybody and everybody who's been watching this and hanging on uh, video after video after video because I know I've been a little long winded. But this is going to be hopefully my final video, for now, anyways, on the whole Cyberpunk issue. And this video is basically on uh, communicating with CD Projeck Red, um, and basically taking personal responsibility. You guys see what I did there? Pun very much intended. Uh, as far as how we support video games that don't meet our needs or desires. So the first thing I would implore anybody is if you see somebody basically complaining, understand that there's a reason why they're complaining. And actually, this is a topic that I meant to discuss in another video, and I failed to do so, so let me go ahead and cover it here. And that topic was why some people dislike third person and why it's difficult to understand. So I think I've made my stylistic standpoint perfectly clear. Listen, I like to look at the guy. I like to, or gal, I like to be able to see all the changes in their gear and all that. So we won't really go into that too much. But I will say this. It's part of like a tier system. Okay? So for me, it's one of those things that it's a stylistic thing. It's something that I like. Okay. For other people, it may be the whole cilantro argument. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, there is like 3 to 4% of the population that have a specific gene that when they eat cilantro, and at first I thought that, my girl, because serendipitously enough, again, my girlfriend actually doesn't like cilantro very much, and I just thought that she didn't have an adult palate, which she very much does. She has a very refined taste in food. But I thought she was just, being persnickety or too picky. And then I came to find out that I kept running into all these cilantro videos because I watch a lot of cooking videos and why people dislike cilantro so much. And I think it was either a Vsauce or some other video that discussed the subject. And basically, there's a gene that in about 4% of the population that causes people to dislike cilantro. So whenever they taste cilantro, they don't actually taste cilantro and say, oh, this is terrible, I don't like it. They actually taste dish soap or laundry detergent, I think it was called. And I understand that because I drink beet juice for health reasons, and for me, it tastes absolutely terrible. It might as well be dish detergent. And come to find out that that's exactly why my girlfriend doesn't like cilantro. She actually, and I tested her because I found out. So we went to get my beet juice one day, and I said, you know what, this stuff is terrible. It tastes like laundry detergent. And she's like, no way. She goes, that's what I taste when I eat cilantro, because I insist on putting cilantro in my food. It lowers my blood pressure, and there's a variety of other benefits to it. Anti-cancer, the whole thing. So I love cilantro, and it tastes great to me. So, needless to say, we don't do cilantro anymore when we, now if I'm making, let's say she's away on a business trip or something, and I'm making some guacamole for myself, I'll absolutely put some cilantro if I have any on hand, but a lot of times I just don't even bother anymore because I know it's an unpleasant experience for them. So there's that, right? And then there's the third tier and final tier to this thing. So there's people like me who just stylistically, we don't even need to make an analogy. I just prefer playing third-person games. I can play a first-person game, but I prefer to just do the whole third person. Now there's people out there that also, they're just not having fun with first person at all. And those would be our people who don't like cilantro because they have that gene that makes it taste like laundry detergent. But there's a third tier, and this is the worst. And this is, again, my girlfriend falls under this, and that's somebody with a peanut allergy. And that's basically akin to somebody who has motion sickness when experiencing first-person games, especially fast-moving ones, like I can imagine that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be. So in that case, there are some very real reasons why somebody wouldn't want to play Cyberpunk 2077 and why it would be a heartbreak for them. For me, I could soldier through, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to make it a 30-hour game. If I'm paying $100 for a game and all the expansions and story content, whether it's $100 or $120, and that's a topic for another discussion. I don't mind paying $100 for a game. I don't mind saying, hey, listen, this iteration is going to be $100. That's perfectly fine. But once we start getting to $120, am I really getting $120 worth of game? Anyways, so to look Stevens, if you're watching this video, and I might actually go on your comment section of the video you made and invite you over to come see it. Those are some very, very real reasons. People like me who just don't like it, other people who, ruffles their feathers, and some people who downright just get sick. Which brings me to the next topic of this video, and that is communicating. And one of the things I would ask is the people that are for and against first person. And I would ask, if you see somebody complaining, enter in a discussion with them, 100%. You're actually helping the cause, okay? But keep it civil. And don't think for a minute that if you dismiss them or try to discredit them that somehow you're helping the cause, because all you're doing is creating vitriol and creating a real reason to not play the game. Basically making people bitter, and in their bitterness make them that much more committed to passing up on the game. As upset as I was about the shallow gameplay and the lack of any type of single player campaign in Battlefront, this next gen go around, I ended up buying not just the first game but both games. So I think part of that is because everybody agreed that the game sucked, but it's Star Wars, and it's Star Wars with visuals likes that I'd never seen, and I just had to have it. It was a complete ripoff, but I wasn't strong enough. Now, had I been attacked by Star Wars fans every time I mentioned how subpar these games were, it might have given me the extra incentive to not purchase these games at all, which would have been actually the more responsible thing to do. So what I'm getting at is that we need to communicate. We need to make sure that we are committed to communicating to CD Projeck Red. And just like I would ask people that really relish the notion of a single-player only campaign, which I can understand, or being able to play basically the entire campaign in first person, just like I would appeal to them to be civil, but actually discuss, because the discussion keeps, when you present your view to somebody who says, hey, I don't want to buy this game, that keeps conversation alive. And while I would appeal to you guys to do so in a civil way, I would also appeal to people to sustain their conversation and their discussion with CD Projeck Red and make it civil. Don't give CD Projeck Red any excuse to delete your comments, because I understand the necessity to curate and monitor conversations so that things aren't getting uncivil, out of control, where you don't have rampant bullying or violent threats or just, all around despicable types of conversations taking place in regards to your intellectual property and your products. So I understand why sometimes you need to intervene. But if the comments are civil and they're not in any way disparaging the company, they're just saying, hey, this is what I want, this is why I don't like first person, then by all means continue to communicate that. And if all else fails, ladies and gentlemen, and we don't get representation and consideration by the artists that we're patrons of, then by all means take, again, this pun, take personal responsibility and don't purchase the product. If Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't seem like it's really going to be the product that you want, and you purchase it anyways, you're never going to get that. And not only you're not going to get that from CD Projeck Red, but potentially you're not going to get it from competitors. Because when I look at it, I look at the playing field, I see a GTA 6 that could really use a shakeup, especially in next gen, because we're not going to get an 8th gen version of GTA 6. So going the Cyberpunk route, they already have flying vehicles and jetpacks throughout the history of GT. So if you put Grand Theft Auto in a cyberpunk world, which is basically taking it and taking one of their cities and fast forwarding 20 or 30 years in the future, it wouldn't take much. We're already at 2020, 2022 probably by the time that Grand Theft Auto 6 rolls out. That could be an easy way to shake things up and also address the wants and desires of their customers. Another player that could easily do it would be Ubisoft. Not only is Ubisoft more than capable of doing it, they may just need to be able to shake up or have to shake up their Watchdog franchise and maybe going Cyberpunk in London of all places. Again, 20, 30 years into the future would be an excellent way to shake up the franchise. And this is a company that's upset their client base, suffered financially because of it, and has turned things around. Okay, and I'm a veteran of these console wars. I understand what my voice means. Third option is Microsoft. Microsoft is a company struggling to get a foothold with intellectual properties. What if they did something crazy and designed their own cyberpunk universe and went out and bought the rights to Blade Runner? And now you got the Harrison Ford character in various eras. You've got the other young man, I forget what his name is, from The Notebook. You've got him. Or if they want to do something a little bit lower key, they could do the whole buy the carbon, altered carbon universe. But either way, not only do you have the whole cyberpunk franchise, or a well-known franchise or a more known franchise, especially in Blade Runner, but you have the option of going off worlds and exploring that aspect of it, all in 9th gen, where you have the scale and scope. You have hardware, powerful hardware to give you scale and scope with cinematic fidelity. So CD Projeck Red, that is something to keep in mind. You're not the only player. I've got other options and other outlets to get what I want. Listen, you guys please rate, comment, subscribe. If you guys think I'm completely nuts, let me know. I'll get into it with you guys on this one. In this particular video, I have no problem getting my hands dirty, especially when you tell somebody not to buy a product. So I know I got it coming. You guys bring it. I'd love to hear from you guys. Keep it civil. Whatever we got to do, let's talk about it. All right, guys. I look forward to discussing other topics with you here, and I think I've done maybe 4 or 5 videos today. So I think that's going to do it. Might take a few days off like I normally do, and I'll be talking to you guys later. You guys take care. Bye-bye.